listen, man, this is episode 21, man. Episode 21, man. 2 cents and change the podcast. You know what it is, man. We got a great show planned for you guys today. We got a very special guest in the building that's going to be in the building with us, the Lakers room. Shout out to my man Malcolm all the way out there on the West Coast. You know, he's
Sir.
actually in there right now. So let's get him on. Let's get Lakers room up in there. Let's tag him in. Let's tag him in. Bat out. And we're going to get this in motion, man.
What's good? What's good, fellas? Y'all
What's
hear
up?
me?
Hey,
Yeah, man.
absolutely.
What's good, man?
Absolutely.
What's up, man?
Yes,
Appreciate y'all, man.
I
Definitely appreciate you.
love the background already, bro. I love it.
Yeah, it's usually over on the other wall, but I moved it just to get it right, just for y'all. You know, it's been
Oh,
it's all Lakers, but Kobe is what really attracted me in the first place, so it's only right.
absolutely, man. Hey, listen,
Yes,
man, this
sir.
is episode 21, 2 cents and change the podcast. It is your boy, CEO McLean.
It's your boy Melly Mel, man.
And introduce yourself.
Yeah, man. My name Malcolm, man. Malcolm Xavier. You might hear me as the Lakers room. This is about my third podcast. Honestly, sports is where it's always been at, but I done podcasts with rap music, actor, and all type of stuff. So this the lane. This is what I always love to do. So I'm glad to get with like-minded people like y'all.
That's what's up, man.
Shit.
And again, man, I love the 24 in the back. We're gonna dive into it. I see you into the Lakers, Kobe. We're gonna talk
Yeah, I
about
got
some
it.
things in the
You
oh,
know.
and he got it on him. That is Lord.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about. We gonna talk some things, man.
yeah. Yes, sir. I mean,
Absolutely.
it's only right. It's only right. We gonna get it started with a Lakers Kobe question, man. Because I
Okay.
was having debates, with a bunch of people. So we already know, rest in peace, Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest to ever do it. It's sad that all the recent disrespect he's been receiving from everybody. It's
Yeah.
crazy. But just been having a debate about what season do you think Kobe was at his best?
Okay. And
That's the real question. You kick it off.
yeah, I could drag out too. I'll say for me personally, there's like layers to it because the killer Kobe, like the Kobe that you just don't want to get across from, 0506 easily for me. Like he gonna take your heart, but obviously we didn't have the best team. But even the way that we competed with Phoenix and probably should have beat Phoenix to be honest, but that was all a product of Kobe and then Phil Jackson triangle kind of coming together at the right time to even take that 3-1 lead because we was overmatched. So as far as just the best killer, I'd say 0506 for sure. I actually think even though he averaged 5 more points in 0506 and had the 81 point, the 65 or 62 points in 3 quarters, all them outbursts, I think the best scoring Kobe was the next year, 0607, when he had
Mm.
those 450-point games in a row, the
And
65-point game against Portland. But also, he really started to come into his own 0203. And I say that all to say, those are my three overall best killer Kobe's. The best Kobe, though, to me, is the MVP season, 0708, for sure.
mhm.
The reason I say that is because he could do all the scoring, but that's when he became the best leader. That's when,
Mm.
yeah, we traded for Powell around February, but look up what the Lakers was doing before we even traded for Powell. We was
Mhm.
already in first place, and it was with the same team that we had lost to the Suns to 2 years in a row. And it was
Mm.
because, to me, it was all because of Kobe's leadership, because he was the same scorer, same everything, but he became a leader. And that's when he had young Andrew Bynum playing off the charts. Lamar Odom, obviously Lamar Odom was Lamar Odom, but
Mhm.
everything meshed. Like people like Sasha Vujacic, Vlad Radmanovic back then, like 07, 08 Kobe, even though we didn't win a ship, when he won MVP to me was the best. And obviously we went back to back after that. But with Pau Gasol, then he got a running mate. It's not A+ running mate, but yeah. So overall 07, 08.
Okay. I'll piggyback on it because I said 0506 for a lot of the things that you pointed out, averaging 30, almost about 36 points a game, the 81-point game, dragging that team to the playoffs, going to being up 3-1 against Phoenix. And then my boy, he said 0203 when he averaged the 30-point even. And you made some other valid points too about the MVP Kobe. But I think I'm gonna stick with the 05, 06 for everything we spoke about. I know it's a lot of different ways you could go with it,
Yeah.
but yeah,
He's the
like you
best
kind of hit
individual to
everything.
me. Oh five, oh two, oh three ain't
Yes,
bad either though. Oh two, oh three. To me,
yeah,
he was a little more green. Like that's when he had the 940 points in
yes,
a row and stuff. Seven. I think he averaged
yes,
even like
yes,
7 rebounds and 6 assists at that point. You know what I mean? But yeah, that none of them
yeah.
are bad picks. To me, excuse me, 0001 through 1213 is there's no way that span is not top five to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead, bro.
I will have to agree with the 0506 Kobe. I mean, being the only reason why I say that because statistically that was his highest average scoring year at nearly 36 points per game. And he averaged about 27 shots a game that year. So that means he was really going out to kill everybody. Like let him know, like, listen, man, I am the Mamba. Y'all can't with me, and y'all gonna get these buckets. And
Facts.
obviously scoring 81 points, and with the infamous commercial with the olives with Jalen Rose. How many olives do you need? 81. Like, yo, to score 81 points in, you could say, the modern day NBA, because during that time it wasn't how the NBA is played now, but
Mm,
to score 81 points, I mean, just even to score 50 points, in the times where Kobe was playing was really difficult because of the style of play. How it was then compared to now was really loosely. Kobe did
yeah.
it on mainly jump shots. If you look at that, mainly jump shots and free throws. He scored the
Facts.
81 points in average of 30 points. So I would have to say, because that was statistically his best year of his career, even though it wasn't no MVP type year. Like you said, the following year he won it, but that was the year that was like, yo,
Yeah,
yeah,
you can't do
Kobe ain't
nothing
nothing
with
to
him.
be fucked
Yeah.
with. Yeah. leave the Mamba
And
alone.
and I got
It
one
was
question. Talking about that season, right? I want your opinion on this because I know it's a lot of different like myths. Because Kobe,
mhm.
obviously, I never heard him got to actually speak on it. But the Phoenix series, that game 7, that second half, why do you think Kobe just? Because that was not Kobe like. What do you believe happened, or why he didn't shoot the ball?
Yeah, it's crazy because I think I was a freshman in high school. I was hot that game. Like, but it was one of those
Yeah.
games where I kind of knew after game 6 what was going to happen. But I think it became to a head because I think starting in that series, even though Kobe was averaging 35 and during the season, I wish I could go back and look at it. I want to say he had a couple low 20s scoring games early in that series because what was really working, I think, was the triangle and him getting like he started to facilitate more. I don't think he still had came into his leadership, but he started to facilitate. And then I feel like right around game 5, things started to like fall apart after obviously he had the Montrose game 4, saved us with the game winner. But I feel like things started to fall apart a little bit. And we had our shot there in game 5. We had our shot in game 6 when Kobe went off for 50. But then after that,
Yes.
all the media noise came. Oh,
Yep.
he dropped 50, but they lost. Really
Yep.
one shot away from going to face the Clippers in the next round. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that it got to a point where he was probably trying to prove a point. And I feel like I've heard that on different podcasts and stuff. I've never looked at it like he quit because like we shouldn't have been there in the first place. You know what I mean? But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I do wish he would have went out gunning. If you want my honest answer, like he might as
Mm-hmm.
well have went out gunning. It wasn't a fun game to watch whatsoever. But yeah, I think it was. I think he was trying to prove a point, and then on top of that, to be like get some help in next year. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like I feel like that season, and then 06, 07, like he was really about to be done with the Lakers. Had
Mm-hmm.
something not transpired. But I also feel like behind, and this is way going left field, but because I seen something where Jerry West was like, oh, Kobe was talking about going to the Clippers. And I feel like it might have been something on the hush because, he was GM of the Grizzlies at the time. And then who do
Mm-hmm.
we end up with?
Yeah.
And I think that because he averaged the highest field goals in that season, 27. I think that played a huge part of it. Like, you averaging 36 points a game, you averaging 27 field goal attempts a game, and to do that, a lot of people really felt slighted. And like you said, you didn't want to say quit, but a lot of people felt like you didn't essentially quit, but you wasn't the Kobe that we known and
Yeah.
accustomed to that particular season, to do that. And who knows if they would even got back. So that was a bold thing to do, to be
Yeah.
like, up 3-1, then come down and then say, you know what, in game 7, fuck it, I ain't shooting. That was a
Hmm.
bold thing for Kobe to do. So a lot of people will kind of use that against Kobe when they using, talking about the debates and stuff like that, even though it shouldn't be, but because we know what he did after that. But,
Yeah, and you know how many people have had meltdowns. You know how many
yeah.
players have fuck quitting. I done seen niggas try and fail miserably. You know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
Yeah,
for what Kobe
yeah,
did that season, Kobe deserved nothing but praise. He like you
Absolutely.
said, he dragged that roster. That wasn't
Hmm.
too far
hmm
off of the 0405 roster where we went like 34 and 48. And that's where I like that you can kind of see the progression as things started to change with Kobe
yeah,
after obviously the breakup from the three-peat era. So yeah, no,
Hmm.
I don't never blame him for that. But at the same time, yeah, oh yeah, at that time, oh, I was absolutely like, man, what is we doing?
yeah, yeah,
And that
for
was
sure.
MVP Nash that year too. Like they had a
Hmm.
squad. Oh my God, that squad was crazy. So for Kobe to do that and go up 3-1, that was a bold statement too. I think that was a bold statement to not only the Lakers but to the league. Like I'm MVP. Like I should have won the award, right?
Hmm.
So man, rest in peace, Kobe, man. The
Yeah,
Mamba right there.
yeah, for
Let
sure.
me try to share this live. I don't even know what I'll be doing on here. Hold on.
And I know,
All right.
you were LA guy, so keeping it there with another LA great, CP3. There's been a lot of chatter about him and his place. And, some of the, like, when I heard Kendrick Perkins, his takes, and I was like, all right, man. That's why I said, all right, I want to talk about this. Is Chris Paul a top 10 point guard? And,
It's
you had people looking at him crazy. Like when Perkins it seemed like there was some hate because of
hmm
what he was saying. And when we talking about point guards, I mean, and what a point guard is, I mean, Chris Paul is,
Now,
he
what was
exhibits
Perkins
that.
saying? Because I didn't hear the take. What did he
He
say?
basically was just saying how Chris Paul ain't top 10.
Oh
And,
hmm
wow,
he didn't win a chip. And, he was just knocking him. And it was just like, it just doesn't, it's not sufficient to say he's not top 10 point guard of
Yeah.
all time. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. It's rough.
mm,
I looked at the topic and I started trying to think about it. I said Magic Johnson, Steph Curry. I would give John Stockton the nod. Um, Russell Westbrook. But that's how many is that? Four?
that's
That
four.
was four that you named.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But there's more. I'll give Mark Jackson the nod.
Mm. Mark.
Um, it's
Mm.
tough. Only Chris Paul might be a
Yeah.
better. Chris Paul's probably a better hooper,
And
but Mark Jackson, Mark Jackson, that's tough. Actually, I'll give Chris Paul. I'll give Chris Paul.
That's a shout out to Mark Jackson, though.
now,
Yeah,
Mark, I mean,
yeah,
we New York boys, so that's
Right,
love.
yeah.
I
right.
No,
always
That's what
that's
I'm
shout
what I'm
out Mark
saying.
saying.
Jackson.
That's a
Even on the
shout
Yeah,
out
I'm
to
not.
Mark.
Pacers, even on the Pacers, he
Yeah.
led the number one rate. The reason when they went to the finals that year, they was the number one rated offense. But I guess he is more of a like
Assist man.
A plus
Yeah.
Andre Miller, I guess, guy. So yeah,
Hmm.
and let me not do that to Chris Paul. Um, yeah, I would say who else we got? Who am I missing? I'm missing
I
somebody.
All
A
right.
couple
mean,
obvious ones.
So off the top though, like me, like of course, okay, we got Magic Johnson, Steph
hmm
Curry, Isaiah Thomas,
Isaiah
hmm
Thomas,
John Stockton,
Isaiah
hmm
Thomas for
Jason
sure.
Kidd.
Jason Kidd for
We got
sure.
Jason Kidd, Gary Payton, Steve Nash,
hmm
Westbrooks,
Steve
Chris
hmm
Nash for
Paul.
sure.
That's how I got. I just named nine.
The only
hmm
one I
And
don't
see,
see is Gary Payton, and that's still up there, truthfully. As far as Chris Paul, Gary Payton,
you don't see Gary Payton in there,
I
top 10?
I love Gary
GP?
Payton. I love GP, man. I love GP. I don't know about top 10 though. I
Woo,
would put
okay,
him and
okay.
Chris. I don't put Gary Payton with the Steve Nash with all of them that we was just talking about. I don't put
Okay,
nah.
this is interesting. No, I'm like, I don't agree, but it's interesting because you know what it is like. It's almost like when somebody asks you who's the greatest rapper,
Yeah,
Tupac, type of thing, and people be saying stuff just because. It's like
Right.
if
yeah.
somebody say something different. I see. I like it because
hmm
then it's like you get another perspective, and then
Right.
Yeah.
it's like So explain why you don't have GP in there.
Yeah, and maybe I'm too late like into the 90s, but I still try to do all my research and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Gary Payton,
yeah,
what he went on a finals run. He was really a fringe contender damn near every year, which I'd say
Mm-hmm.
Steve Nash definitely wasn't. And Steve Nash also don't have the numbers that Gary Payton had. But Steve Nash did revolutionize the game. And Steve Nash is a two-time MVP.
Two-time
And
MVP. Yep.
I don't like what him and Amari Stoudemire and them boys was doing. I mean, him and
That pick
Sean
and roll
Kemp was
was
doing it
crazy.
too. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I don't know. It's kind of tough to say because what Steve Nash has on offense and dictating the game, Gary Payton has on defense. But like for instance, for example, when Steve
Yeah,
Nash like game, I think 6 it was at Dallas when he went back in '05 and put them out in double overtime. I think what he scored like
yeah,
a 40-point almost triple double.
yeah.
Steve Nash could do that every night.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I've seen Steve Nash. Even he might average 50 points, but look at his splits. Look at his shot. If anytime I guarantee he put up over 15, 20 shots, I guarantee he scored 30. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, and still
Yeah.
dictate. Like, he was just that leader. Like, to me, Steve Nash and Jason Kidd, I would put a little bit above that Gary Payton tier. Like, just for me.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at that at all.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not mad at that.
I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at it, right, and you look at CP3, like, is there what other 9 point guards can you put above him?
None but those you just named. That's it. So
Yeah,
that's top 10. He's top 10. Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
that is the
yeah.
debate right there.
Any player with his with
Yep.
True.
Shea.
True.
Mm-hmm.
When he went to the Clippers, turned him
Mm-hmm.
around. The Hornets, everywhere Chris Paul went, he made
Don't
the
forget the
team make the
Rockets.
Yeah.
playoffs. In the
If he
Rockets,
never got
yes.
injured, the Rockets would have. I felt Rockets could have won a chip that year.
And he honestly should have beat the Rockets with OKC, to be honest. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I'm like, yeah, yeah, he's in there. He's in there for sure.
Yeah.
Like
Chris
it's
Yeah,
Paul,
like picking at straws, like truthfully. Like
yeah. Chris
and
Paul,
it's
one of
just
them guys, though.
unfortunate, right? That because obviously, if Chris Paul would have won at least one ring, it would have been non-debatable, you know.
oh yeah, oh yeah.
But because he doesn't have no MVPs, no championships, you know, none of those individual accolades that you look towards, like a Hall of Fame or great player
Yeah,
having those in a
true.
trophy case. You look at him a little slightly
Yeah.
different from, say, a
I got a comment. I got a comment when you
like a
mentioned that
Magic,
MVP.
huh? Go ahead.
I got a comment. I will say this. The year Kobe Bryant won MVP, Chris Paul could have very well won MVP that year. I
That was
think
Chris
that
Paul
if
this
Chris,
year.
yep, I think if Chris Paul, because the win difference between them was like a
Mm-hmm.
game. The Lakers finished like
Mhm.
one win higher. I think if
Mm-hmm.
Chris Paul would have finished with a better record,
You would have got
they
it.
might have been like. But I think also the league felt like they owed Kobe an MVP
They
too.
owed him
Oh, for
two.
sure. For
So
sure.
it was a lot with that season. But me, because I was a Chris Paul fan. Because you know, he was kind of playing like a little bit at that time. 'Cause I would watch a lot of stuff he did, steal a lot of stuff from him because he was brilliant. And I
Yeah.
was like, yo, he could have won MVP that year. Like
Yeah, what he did to the
seriously,
Spurs was crazy. What he did to the Spurs that year was crazy. And then
pushed
obviously
him.
Kobe ended up beating the same team. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, no,
Yes,
what Chris Paul was doing, I was watching. I used to play with him in 2K all day long because it was just a
yes,
cheat code. But yeah, like you said, some of it is I have trouble splitting hairs because sometimes we talking about hoopers. It's a difference between like the NBA narrative and the NBA rankings and you know what I'm saying? Because if we just
Mm-hmm.
talking
yeah,
about who gonna really go out there and get it, or even if it's just like one game, then it get different. You know what
Right.
yeah.
I mean?
I want to know, you know, since you being an avid Lakers fan, how did you feel when they vetoed that trade
Oh
with Chris
man,
Paul going
That's
over
a good
there?
one. That's a good
sick.
one. Yeah, I want to hear
Super
that.
sick. I felt super sick, man. I felt slighted. But now I feel like it was a conspiracy and a lot more going on. But at the
Mm-hmm.
time, I just felt like they just don't want the Lakers to win another championship. But yeah, I mean, David Stern had all the excuses, but once it
All
came out
excuses.
and you don't trade him directly to the Clippers for a worse deal. It just felt, I don't know, it felt like a sham. It feels even worse now. I felt like the
Yeah,
Lakers in 2010, 2011, it's the year right before the trade when we was going for the three-peat, was just as good as the team from the Lakers that won the year before. We just came up short. It was a sweep versus the Mavericks, but
Mm-hmm.
after we lost those first two games at home, which really we should have won. One of them was a Kobe game winner coming off. The tide just changed. So then we go into trying to get Chris Paul, which we really still running with the same team that just won all those rings. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was a good contractual situation. So they just
Great.
didn't want
Yep.
they yeah they didn't want to see the team shine and then be able to add somebody else. And then on top of that, like I felt like they was trying to shift the league more towards the Bron era, just to be like frank, you know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it was like we're not loading up the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like it was
Just
just a thing where
imagine Chris Paul and
Yeah,
Kobe. That could have been arguably the greatest backcourt to ever play the game.
for sure. Oh yeah,
Chris
hands
Paul
down.
and
yeah,
Kobe Bryant. Kobe Bryant in his prime with Chris Paul. My God, like
yeah, man. We got
that
robbed of that. We
Kobe
that
got
that's
probably
a
would have
robbed.
huge
lasted
what if.
longer on top of that because D'Antoni drove him into the ground, really. Like,
Mm,
I mean, we didn't have a lot of choice in 2012, 13, but if you got somebody like Chris Paul handling the rock, Kobe probably could have went to 2020. You know what I mean? Like,
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
man.
Because
Yep.
that was a longevity play right there. There's no way they would have got rid of Chris Paul. Chris Paul would have retired a
Oh
Laker.
yeah.
Absolutely. There's no way you're gonna get rid of Chris Paul and Kobe's there because Kobe's not gonna let that happen.
Nah.
Yeah,
Just
Absolutely.
leadership alone, we would have, oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
for
But do
sure.
you think, right, if you'd have got Chris Paul, how would you get Gasol?
Well, we had Gasol. We traded, who do we trade? Was it Gasol, Odom?
I think he was part of that deal
Yeah,
if
it
they
was
would have got
Gasol, Odom. But we still had Bynum. So we was finna ship Bynum out for Dwight Howard still. That's what it was. We got
mm,
Dwight the next year. That's what the whole play was. And if you
mm.
get Chris Paul and Dwight Howard, you're
Oh
gonna get a
yeah.
different Dwight Howard. So that's
Yeah.
what it was supposed to be. They were literally a season apart. You know what I mean? So
Chris,
they still
Chris
would we
Paul with
still
the
had
White
the trade
House.
chips. We still had the trade chip to send Dwight Bynum right over for Dwight Howard, pretty much at
Hmm.
that point. Like, and that's where also like they was like, nah, hold on, we this too much.
Yeah,
Just
Chris Paul
imagine
with the
Chris
White
Paul,
Howard.
Kobe, and Dwight.
Like,
Yeah, that
man,
would have
Man,
been two, at least two more chips. Kobe could have
yeah.
had seven. Yeah.
What Chris Paul, that's what I will say. What Chris Paul does with centers specifically, not like the Gary Payton
yeah,
and Karl Malone, or not like the Gary Payton, Kemp, or Malone Stockton,
Mm,
or who we talk about, Nash, Stoudemire. Those are
mm,
three elite power forwards that adjust also. They learn how to shoot when they need to, whatever the case.
yeah,
Chris Paul can do that with the average center. Like what Luka halfway does nowadays, you make an
mm,
average center shoot 70%, look like a lob threat, which and then that
mm.
gets him energized on defense. Like, you know, that's why Jackson Hayes last year was able. But yeah, that's what Chris Paul does. He turned the average center into, oh yeah, that's that
Hmm.
guy.
yeah.
Yeah, that would have
Yep.
been something nasty.
He put
You
Tyson
know,
Chandler on the map, like legitimized Tyson Chandler.
right.
You know
Facts.
what I'm saying? Chris Paul,
That's
for sure.
facts.
And DeAndre Jordan, good point right there.
Definitely DeAndre Jordan because he's a bust. Without Chris
Yeah,
Paul, without Chris Paul, that man is a dub. Get him out
Facts.
of there.
yeah. And on speaking about that, I mean, something interesting that also crossed my way, and I thought about it. I was watching a highlight of the game 7 between the Milwaukee Bucks and the Brooklyn Nets when Durant toe was on the line.
Oh man.
I'm
Hmm.
not a Brooklyn Nets fan, but I remember Brooklyn was like the city was on fire. And I
Mm.
feel like everybody and their mother, even my mother was watching that game.
Shout out to mommy.
Everybody was, yeah, was watching that game. And when I look, I forgot Harden even played that game. And it was
Yeah,
so
sporadically. Yep.
back and forth, back and forth. Drew Holiday, Durant. And I'm like, and then it was like, yo, could this be possibly be the greatest game 7? And it made me think, like, there's been a lot of great game 7s in the playoffs. I'm like, all right, man. Like, so it's interesting. I know it's a lot to remember, but like off the top, right? Your top game 7, if you have one that you're sure about, or you could just name a few of the top
Yeah.
game 7s in playoff history.
Yeah, absolutely. The one for me, obviously being biased, is the Lakers and Sacramento Kings game 7.
Oh, yeah, that
Um,
was ooh,
2002 for
That
certain
that
because
hurts. That hurts, man.
yeah,
ooh.
Cheaters.
yeah, that game was wicked. That whole
Cheater
series
gate.
though, that whole series for me, we could get into that whole series. I felt like they tried to poison Kobe in game 2. I felt like game 4, if the Kings really wanted to win, y'all winning by 20 after the first quarter. You know what I mean? You can go up 3-1. All you got to do is hold the lead. They wasn't serious. Game 5, I feel like we got did wrong. Like the same stuff everybody said about game 6, I feel like we got hosed the last minute of game 5. But then
Oh, you
game
talking about
seven,
the Chris Webber screen? The Chris Webber
the
screen
Chris Webber
on the
screen
video?
and the Bobby Jackson jersey. He was tugging Kobe jersey. But yeah, so yeah, the Chris Webber, that was a moving screen for sure. But
Yeah,
anyway,
that screen was crazy. Yeah, yeah,
that screen was crazy. But and I think Kobe hit the what should have been the game winner right before that. But anyway,
yeah,
yeah, that game seven was the best because I think that's where maybe the Kings were a more well-oiled team at that time, but that showed you what sports is really about. Who
Mm-hmm.
wants it more and who's going to show up, who can center themselves and get focused and lock in for these 48 minutes. Kings, one of the greatest shooting teams ever, was airballing, couldn't hit a free throw. That's what you
Mm-hmm.
call nerves. The Lakers, the stage wasn't too big. But
Mm-hmm.
let me try to think of some other ones. The Cavs and Warriors 2016,
Mm-hmm.
obviously. I kind of like the Spurs and Heat 2013 because I feel like that's a series the Spurs damn near won and lost at the same time. The
Yep. Yep.
Spurs and Mavericks 2003 was crazy. The
Mm-hmm.
Kings, the Kings and Wolves 2004.
that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good
Yeah.
one right there.
Let me try to think of some East Coast ones. So I don't be too. Hold on. I know it's something I can't think of.
Off the top, AI and Vince, Game
Oh yeah,
7 in
AI
Philly.
Vince, Raptors 01. Yeah, there we go.
Oh yeah,
The Knicks and Rockets game 7.
What's that? 94, 95?
You know why I
yeah,
say that
94,
one.
94 finals, man.
You know
Bro,
why I
chill,
say
chill,
that
chill.
one.
The Phantom
Bro, chill,
Call.
chill, chill. Bro, chill with that Game 7. That we gonna move on to the next one. Chill with that one. Chill with that one.
You know
Oh
why I
yeah,
say that one. That was a
in Indiana and the Bulls in the '98 conference finals, Game 7. That
okay.
was Indiana had it. They was up in under 5 minutes.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna be real, an underrated one in the bubble. Rockets and Thunder, bro. That Chris Paul, that series was crazy. I think
Mm.
he missed a
You're right.
bunny at the very end that he would
Mm.
have beat the Rockets, and
Mm.
he had
Yes,
just left the Rockets. That series was
yes,
crazy.
Yeah, that would have been. Yeah, he just left the Rockets. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
that was crazy. That
I
was
think. I mean, for
crazy.
me, if I had to pick one, I mean, you mentioned it, Malcolm. Was the 16 Cavs and Warriors?
Mhm.
I think for me, just watching it, and I mean, obviously we've seen a lot of game sevens, but I think
Yeah,
because of the magnitude of that game seven and the history behind that, like no team ever came back from a 3-1. Warriors was 73 win team. Like it was no way they should have beat that team. No way. And the
Yeah.
win coming back from Cleveland from a 53 win
Year.
championship drought. I think that was like, and that's why LeBron said that made me greatest player of all time because of the magnitude of that game seven. That
Yeah. Oh,
like,
I understood just what he meant. That's what be funny what people be saying. Like,
mm,
I'll go even further, and has nothing to do with sports. I believe LeBron part of the talented tenth. You know what I mean?
wait,
Like
explain that.
bro. So they say, and with black people, they say that they try to prop up our leaders to be like celebrities, athletes, stuff that people really don't take serious and kind of make things unattainable to chase. So we
Mm,
kind of always chasing our tail in society. But they
mm,
say that it's going to be like a talented tenth. Most of them not going to be like athletes and celebrities like that, but that actually show you how to live, how to do things differently, save cities, send people to school, give
mm.
people education. And I'd be like, people missing the whole play. Like, bro, like, I don't care what you think this man doing on the basketball court, bro. This man out here is saving. I'm telling you, he is.
No, no, that listen, yes,
Showing them how to
absolutely.
conduct themselves. Bro, it's
Mm,
different versus, oh, you up there looking crazy, goofy, get caught up in a scandal. Wild out. Even I love Kobe, but
mm.
everybody done has a miss or get propped up to get torn down
Right,
versus the
yeah.
other way. You know what I mean?
right.
Which is how they do their leaders, which be like government officials,
Mm.
things that actually shape so yeah, don't get me too far off in that, but
Nah,
yeah,
you good.
just a shout out
But
to
it's
LeBron from that. I was piggybacking off
That's a,
that. Yeah.
that's a good point because not even like it's not related, but like I was, like sometimes I'd be in the crib and I just be watching random stuff and everything you just said, even though it wasn't somebody black, but I was watching a documentary on the Bill Clinton scandal. And it was crazy how the Monica Lewinsky thing came out because there was other people that accused Clinton of, misconduct, but they didn't take it. It didn't really go nowhere. Then it was like, we want to bring him down so bad. and it was like, we got this here, and people shot it down, and they went searching. Nah, we got to get this out, and it's like it showed me like when I was young and it's going on. It was a joke, but I'm like, yo, they really wanted to bring them down. They was not stopping. So it's like, to your point, it's like when you got somebody who ain't out here even allowing that to happen, but it's like everybody else, they're gonna bring you down. They're gonna,
Right.
especially if you give them something, they're gonna get you. And that
Right.
showed me, it was like how much they wanted to get him. Like it was like, I'm like, wow, I never realized how, like, yo, no, we're getting him no matter what. And like,
Right.
to your point, so
And
that was a
it's
good
kind
point.
of,
I'll go slightly further, bro. They want to sell jerseys to certain kids. Other kids, they want them to chase the dream. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. I mean, it's kind of, if you look at it in hindsight, it's kind of eerie, right? For a guy of that magnitude to have no blemishes on his record, and you kind of, in this way, you don't want it to happen, but you'd be like, man, I hope this guy ain't got no skeletons, because if they come out, they are going to bury him.
oh, they
Like,
looking. Trust
they
me,
looking,
they
they
Yeah,
looking.
looking,
yeah,
they looking.
yeah.
So
Drake, hey, Drake almost gave him some.
I was about to say that. Yep.
He a
I'm
man just
pretty
like
sure.
us. Don't ever get that twisted. But it's about how you conduct yourself. You know.
Right. Right. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
for
sure
sure.
LeBron team was on the line like Drake.
Hotline blinging, boy.
Cut it out. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out, bro. Cut it out,
Yeah.
bro. You know what? I wanna before we get on to the other topic, I wanna know, how do you feel? I know how I felt when he came over there, but how did you feel that when LeBron James came over there and decided he wanted to be a
Excited,
Laker?
man. Excited. And I'm gonna give y'all something. This is we can clip farm this shit. I couldn't stand LeBron before he joined the Lakers, man. Only because I'm a diehard Lakers fan. So I used to watch him. I ain't never felt like he was better than Kobe. Don't ever get that twisted. But I used to watch, like when people say the 16-6 record, I'm like, I know it's true because I used to watch the damn games. You know what I'm
Mm,
saying? So I used to be hot, bro. And the Christmas games, everything, bro. I couldn't stand LeBron, bro, because I used to be like, why is we not, like, I know in my heart of hearts, if we played the Cavs in 2009, if we played the Heat in 2011, we'd have scraped them either year.
mm-hmm.
2009, they didn't make it. 2011, we didn't make it. So we'll never know. But
Never
that
know.
regular season shit always used to piss me off. But once Kobe retired, I kind of just let it go. Obviously, I just said the game 7 was one of my favorite ones. That's when I was like, okay, I start to be able to appreciate it more because I'm letting go of my Laker bias because we ain't winning shit. We in the dark days. And then about a year before he comes, you know, I'm sure y'all big sports fanatics like me, you start hearing the chatter already. Like
Mm-hmm.
as Lonzo Ball, them, they're getting drafted, you hearing, oh, LeBron's coming next year. And you hear
Mm-hmm.
certain things from certain sources, you're like, okay, it definitely got some merit to it. So I was
Mm-hmm.
kind of waiting for it, bro. So by 2017, 18, I'm watching everything LeBron. But that game 1 against the Warriors in 2018, that's when I was like, wait, we finna have him on our team next year? Oh,
Mm-hmm.
it's up. Oh, it's up. So then, what, a month later after that, I want to say right around July 4th, signed to the Lakers. So I was ecstatic. I'm in the club celebrating responsibly. You know how that go.
Um,
Yeah,
Listen,
yeah.
I am the complete opposite. I hated that he went to LA. And I'm not a Lakers fan. I'm just a Kobe fan.
Yeah,
And that's why I hated that he went over there, because I'm like, yo, bro, you could have picked any other team. Why choose LA when you know Kobe? You're not gonna ever surpass Kobe in
yeah.
LA, no matter what you do. Right. So I just felt like he went over there to try to negate, as far as the conversation goes. Well, I'm gonna go over here. I'm LeBron James. I'm obviously, like, I would say in the States he's a bigger public figure, but over internationally Kobe
Yeah.
got him.
Ah,
But
for sure.
I just felt like, why go there, right? Because everything LeBron do is strategic. Everything. Watching
Hmm.
his man, his team, they do everything strategically planned. So I think that was a strategic plan to go to LA. To, like, okay, we're going to go to LA because we know we got Kobe and Mike. You go to LA, you're LeBron James, especially if you win a championship over there, you're going to be talked about as far as, like,
Yeah.
okay, in that conversation. So I think him going over there kind of elevated his conversation, and then winning a championship, even though it was Mickey Mouse championship, some
Nah,
people
we're
say.
not doing that. Yeah.
But I just think we're gonna talk about that. But I just felt like he could have just stayed in Cleveland. Like, why go to LA? I know Magic Johnson was advocating for him to come over there, but I just think, it was it didn't diminish Kobe at all, but it kind of overshadowed a lot of Kobe by you coming over there. I
Yeah.
hated that he went over there. Hey, I
I
was
feel
like,
like you
what?
just said it, bro.
No,
I honestly
fuck.
feel like you just said it, bro. He didn't really have too much of a choice, especially after he won that championship in Cleveland. Now, if you're not LeBron James, almost any other player maybe could have finished their career out in Cleveland, bro. LeBron is bigger than damn near bigger than the program. So if it wasn't gonna be LA, it was gonna be New York. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't he's a brand that's at the end of the day, yeah, basketball is the thing, but the biggest move in business in America, especially if you're the biggest moving thing in America, it's going to
Mm,
be in one of them cities. So you're going to have
right.
to attach yourself to it. And it's cool to do it after you retire. That's what everybody does. But to do it while you're playing, the
Mm,
amount of connections, the amount of business, and then especially if you're on a winning team, it's
mm,
just even if you're LeBron James, profile increases by tenfold, truthfully. Like, so I feel like it was a necessary move business wise. And then he was at a point with Cleveland where it's like wherever I go, I'm gonna have to build up and figure out. Like our first year, I feel like we overperformed. Like the year he popped his
mm,
groin, we ended
mm,
up falling off, but we actually was like second in the West when he popped
mm,
his groin on Christmas Day. But he didn't
mm.
plan
Yeah.
on doing that. He was coming here to try to figure things out. So I feel like it was the best move for him, just being
That's
LeBron
surprising
James.
to
Think
hear from
about
a
Wilt
Lakers fan.
Chamberlain,
Yeah.
Shaq, Jerry West. Think of everybody, or well, Jerry West was drafted, I believe, by the Lakers. I don't even
Mm.
know actually. But think about all the players who were big
Came
somewhere
over
else,
there. Yep.
came over, and that Luka Doncic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's different, bro. Like, and I
But
mean, he
Luka didn't
could
ask to come over there. He was
nah,
traded.
But
yeah,
let me ask this though, because I know you out there and over there, right? It's the same thing. Like you know how like it's a perception thing. Like I, for example, I'll be joking with people, but bro, you a Giants fan, but you can attest to it. It's like people will think because, like for example, Eli Manning won them 2 Super Bowls and all that stuff, and it's like you would think he's so big in New York, but he not. Nobody cares really like that.
Mm,
They talk about
yeah,
Jalen Brunson more than Eli Manning.
that's
yeah.
fine.
Like, you know what I mean? So what I'm alluding to is what is really the feeling with the whole LeBron coming to the Lakers out there in the West with
I
Kobe
mean,
and stuff? Like, what is the real? Because you could speak to it because you're there, as opposed to
I can give you
perception.
They
my
hate it.
honest truth. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
There you go. I can give you the real hardcore Laker fans,
yeah,
I think love it. And
mm-hmm.
then you got some old time Laker fans who like they can't get with it at all. I'll say if I had to
Okay,
put a percentage to it, I say it's probably 60% of Lakers fans who can't stand LeBron still. You know what I
Mm,
mean?
okay,
Like they
okay,
probably can't stand him more when he on the Lakers than he wasn't on the Lakers. But
mm,
I don't pay no attention to none of that, man. For one, I feel I've never there's let alone the worst players who have ever put on the Lakers jersey. I've never not rooted for anybody putting on purple and gold, let alone
yeah,
LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I don't know what it is. I can't speak to it. I do see. I know. I guess the Kobe thing for sure,
right.
because a
mm-hmm.
lot of Kobe purists, a lot of Michael Jordan purists, a lot of LeBron James purist fans be on some tripping shit, and we can't even blame the players for that, or even the fan bases overall. It's like
Yeah,
armies of people who are fans of them individually that kind of mess it up for everybody because they pit them all against each other. You know what I
Right.
mean? Versus appreciating the greatness. So I think a lot of Lakers fans have missed out on some of the greatness that LeBron. How you said Mickey Mouse ring, and people talk about that. I got some people who be like, "Oh, I don't count that ring." Like what? You sound absolutely
yeah,
crazy. I don't. I count every
yeah,
regular season victory. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, so yeah, I
yeah,
don't
But
know
you
what it
know
yeah,
is.
what? And I just think that because it's a different perspective, right? Because I'm not a Lakers fan. You a Lakers fan. So any great players coming to your team, your favorite team, you all for it. I'm not a
Hmm.
Lakers fan. I'm a Kobe fan. So for me,
Yeah,
I see it in a different lens because I'm like, why go to LA and try to combat with Kobe where you never gonna be as great as Kobe no matter what you do? Kobe is solidified in LA as one of the top 3, 5, 10, wherever you want to place Kobe players of all time. And you go over
yeah,
there. I think for Kobe fans, because a lot of people in LA revere Kobe to a T. And that's why that 60% are probably a Kobe fan, they LA fans,
yeah,
but they more so like love Kobe to death. Why, LeBron, that you came over here,
yeah.
So that
They
would have been
flimsy
like
too,
if
though.
Kobe
Lakers
went
win
to
next year.
Chicago. Like, why you go to
Yeah.
Chicago,
Winning,
Kobe?
winning, winning cures all. Winning
Winning
cures
cures
all.
all. Yeah, the bubble might not have looked pretty enough for him, but they win next year.
It
The
damn
whole
sure
narrative
wasn't.
changed.
It damn sure wasn't. I'm gonna make a GIF with the banner. I'm gonna put Mickey Mouse ears on that bitch.
That's crazy. You know what I say about the bubble? I feel like the Boston Celtics and the Clippers let the bubble down, if you ask me. Because if Bam Adebayo don't block Jason Tatum and then they scrape off the Celtics when they really shouldn't have beat them, it should have been Celtics Lakers. It all changes, and I'm like, y'all mad at them because they hooped, because they was prepared, because they was ready. Like I almost feel like they mad at the Miami Heat. Like
Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of mixed emotions with that. I don't think anybody is going to be on one side or the other side. You know, it's going to be super divided as far as that championship concerned. The only way he could alleviate all of that is if they win one now. That's the
yeah,
only way.
facts,
That's the
facts.
only way. Because if not, there's always going to be sports analysts or people that just going to be like, I don't know about that ring. It's just going to be
He
there.
better do it next year because it's probably curtains. You know,
Nah, it's over. It's
Yeah.
over already for him.
it's
It's over
over. It's
already.
over with.
It's over already. It's already. What we got next, Mel?
Yeah, and speaking about, all of that stuff, Ben talks about Julius Erving and his greatness as far as
Mm-hmm.
when he was in the ABA, a lot
hmm
more talented players were in the ABA as opposed to the NBA at that time. Then
hmm
before they merged it together and he came and etc. So as far as him having 3 rings total, 2 in ABA and then 1 in the NBA. So that's been a topic. So I mean, how do you feel about Julius Erving and people talking about his greatness being kind of diminished when he was in the superior
The
league
better
originally?
league. Yeah. What that sound like?
Yeah.
It almost sound like the Negro leagues. But what I'll say
Right.
is what I'll say is this. I don't really know too much about his ABA career other than like highlights and stuff like that. But one of the
Yeah.
first books I read was about the '80s Lakers, bro. And I read one of the. I know he wasn't the best player. What was it, '83 when they swept us or something like that?
Yeah.
But I know
Yeah.
he. I think Andrew Toney. I almost read his name more in that book. So I'm gonna probably
Mm.
say must have been better in the ABA. Because when I was reading
Yeah,
a
he
lot
was.
about
He was.
Andrew Toney and Moses Malone,
Mm-hmm.
Dr. J,
Yeah.
obviously. I can't remember who else was on the team, but reading
Mo
it was
Cheeks.
like one
Yeah.
Mo Cheeks. I know we was injured just from reading the book and going back and looking at the series and stuff though. But the way they swept us off the court, and I'll say he didn't seem like he was the star player.
Mm-hmm.
I really genuinely, I don't. Was he the MVP? I got to go back and look.
No. No,
Who was
not
it?
that year.
Who was the
It might have
Finals
been.
MVP?
It might have been Moses. I don't know off the
Moses
In which
top.
Malone.
year?
Okay,
70
yeah,
what?
but
No, in '83 when
83,
they won a
83.
When they
chip.
won the championship in Philly.
Swept
Oh,
us.
okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah.
but I know it seemed like the top scorer was Andrew Toney. I probably know that without looking.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
so it must have been in the ABA, bro. Now you give me something to
Yeah.
go look at because I feel like
His
Dr.
year.
J. I've seen people say like, oh, a lot of the players that like are prototypes. They'll say nowadays of Dr. J. Like it's crazy. I've been missing that lately, but I feel like he definitely don't get his credit when you see any list, when you hear people talk, when you hear he definitely don't get talked about like a 3-time champion for sure.
Right.
Yeah, he don't. His better years were in the ABA though. I
Yeah.
can say that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Statistically wise and etc. He
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
was
In the
averaging
NBA, he was
30 and everything.
frustrated, punching on Larry Bird.
Yeah.
And they lost to Bill Walton in '77 and the Blazers in the finals.
Mm-hmm.
That's a name right there,
So
Bill Walton before injury. Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, he was a
yeah,
monster. I just
yeah,
feel like because they merged in what 70, 76 they merged.
79, or I don't even know. I'm about to
I
make
think they
something up.
merged in 76 because he won 2 titles when he was on the Nets in the ABA. And I just feel
yeah,
like when people talk about Julius Erving, they always they put him in a light of like, yo, a great dunker, right? They always put him in that light. I'm like, yo, Julius Erving was a great player,
Mm-hmm.
aside from just having the athleticism that he had. I just feel like they slight him because they don't talk about him in the NBA light, and they say, well, he was a great ABA player. But it's like you can't talk about one without the other because the NBA kind of derived from the ABA as far as getting their players and kind of like hustling, like, yo, you better come to the NBA and I give you this money.
Yeah.
Come over here. You know what I mean? So
The
I just
NBA
feel
seen
like
that.
he don't get that
yeah,
credit enough. Like it's bad that they say he's a one-time NBA champion. And as far as NBA like, because I was looking at
Yeah.
it, they had I forgot who did it, but it's like, yo, he's really a 3-time champion, like regardless of, and he's a 3-time champion, you know. So I just want to shout out Julius Erving for that, because a lot of people don't really, when you talk about the greats and stuff like that, a lot of people don't really mention Dr. J. You know, they don't put him in those conversations like that, you know, but that man was ABA legend, and he obviously won one in the NBA, so to speak. So it's like, you know, he carried that over to the NBA, that winning pedigree, and became a champion. So I'm like, yo, Julius Erving, 3-time NBA champion. You know,
It's NBA monopolized basketball. That was the
yeah.
plan.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so shout out to
So
the ABA. And that it's crazy because I read on it, they said that league is still in existence, the ABA, on a lower scale level, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
still in existence. So like, you
that's
know,
crazy.
might have to pull somebody from the
If
ABA,
your
from the
man
G
tell you
League.
you got drafted, I was gonna say if your man tell you he got drafted to the ABA these days, it's crazy.
Drafted the ABA. Then.
Yeah,
Shit.
and that goes hand in hand with the as far as the skill, like as far as players from the '70s, '80s, like are like as far as skill, players more skilled now or back then. And I think with that, obviously players are more skilled now, but I think that you know what it is? Because when you see, like, it was a clip that you sent me, bro, when they had players from back in the day doing stuff. It's almost like it was like how the WNBA is in this regard, how you got certain players that are exceptional, right? And it's like the rest look kind of regular. I think that's how
Yeah.
it was in the '70s and '80s. Like, but now it's more common with the scale and people doing certain things. So it's like as a whole, everyone's more skillful now, as opposed to
Yeah.
they just being little gems like back in the '70s and '80s. I think that's, in my opinion. But y'all could go
Yeah.
take the floor.
I see it a
Um,
little bit like that. Oh, my bad, my bad.
no, go ahead, bro.
Now, I see it a little bit like that, but at the same time, I don't like to ever compare them just because they're super different games. But more than that, I feel like the rules is more bigger than anything. I can't go as far back as like the 80s, but like if I'm comparing like the 90s, I would say like now you got more specialists that fit a one size fits all game, with very wide open space oriented rules, that you can tell is more for entertainment. But if you drop the ball in the hands of a 6'9" person back then and let them, run up and down the court, like they were taught differently to play the game just because it wasn't positionless back then. Like, so I feel like for one, you had, it's like a cheat code almost nowadays. So yeah, obviously you're going to have more skills, but when that one skill doesn't work or that specialist thing doesn't work, you can see what's missing in today's game: adjustments. And that's what they used to be able to do. Like I seen y'all got like a Gervonta Davis question, like a good fighter is going to make adjustments. That'll be the difference. And that's why I also think the product was a little bit more watchable in the 90s, because you might see 10 different styles in the game versus now, if your style don't fit the game, they're going to play you like you can't play. But that's
Right.
not it. You just don't fit what the game is looking for today. Like, that's it. That's what the rules dictate. If you can't shoot, if you can't, you know what I mean? You're a liability almost if you can't shoot just to start. Back in the
Right.
day, if you couldn't shoot, we're gonna figure out something else for you to do to still affect the game. Now you'll pretty much be it's almost like a cardio game at this point, but it is more skill because they allow them to try more. You know what I'm saying?
I and it's crazy, right? Because when I looked at, when I posted the clip, and then I went back and watched a couple of games, like Pete Maravich was fucking awesome, bro. Like
Oh
this
yeah.
guy was. I'm watching these old shit. I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is a wizard. Like,
Yeah.
yo. So for me, and this is my opinion on it, my 2 cents on it. Watching the ball players in the '70s, right? Because you got to have pioneers, right? Like
Mm,
Oscar Robertson had to crawl so Westbrook could run, right? Because
yeah.
he was the originator of the triple doubles. Wilt Chamberlain was like a figure like, yo, who is this? And then you had the dominance of the centers in the '90s with the Shaqs, and we all know that. I just think that I feel like it's more skilled. Now the players in this era is more athletic,
Mm,
by far than the players
yeah.
in the older generation. But when you look at the style of play these guys had to play with. No 3-point line.
Yeah.
It was just you had to
You
rely
could grab
on
them.
skill. Like you
Yeah.
really had to be a skillful player. You had to have mid-range. You had to have some type of handle. You had to have a total package of a game, and down to the players that you won't even consider stars. You may
Yeah.
look at them as scrubs, but they were skillful players because they still had to play without a 3-point line, without no zone defenses, without these things that boost the generation now. They didn't have that back then. So
Yeah.
each position had to play their position to a T. Point guards had to be real point guards. Centers had to be real centers, power forwards, small forwards. So just looking at it, I'm like, yo, these guys are really skillful in what they did because how the game was played. And it was like, yo, you really had to again play your position, right? As
Hmm.
far as like now, guys could be bailed out by shooting 3-pointers. Like,
I kind
and
of
these
agree.
guys don't even be 3-point shooters. They be shooting 20% from the free throw line, but they hit like 3 or 4 a game, So that don't take much skill. That's just like, yo,
Yeah.
you putting them shits up. And like that's why I talk about Anthony Edwards a lot, and I'm mad he went away from the mid range and started shooting more threes because it took away from your game, it took away from your skill. Your skill
Facts.
was mid range. That was a
Yeah.
skill. You went
Hmm.
shooting threes and fell into the analytics, and it took away from your game. So to me, I think just watching the older players, they was to me a little bit more skillful, more athletic now, but more skillful back then. That's
I agree.
how I
I
look at it.
wholeheartedly agree. I think we kind of started to see that in the playoffs this year, almost look like the regular season back in the
Mm-hmm.
90s. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, you play the same game every night in the regular season. Back then,
Mm-hmm.
you had to adjust for real. You're playing a different game, different pace. And
Mm-hmm.
every team got a different style, different rules. They can actually hem you up. Like, yeah, no, I
Mm-hmm.
wholeheartedly agree. But yeah, athleticism wise, oh yeah, it ain't even
Yeah,
close.
ain't no. We ain't seeing no LeBron James back in that day. There's
Or
nobody.
Carl, picture if you put the ball in somebody like Carl Malone hands at a
Mm,
young age and let
mm.
him, you know
Let
what I
him
mean?
cook.
Yeah, you might see it because he could run like a I don't even want to talk about Carl Malone, but you know what I mean?
Nah, that boy Pete Maravich though, that boy crazy. That boy, that boy's a wizard. But yeah,
Yeah,
Jason
we
Williams.
brought it up. We brought it up, but the whole Gervonta retiring. I mean, I didn't even
hmm
really catch what like is
he hinted at
talk
it.
about.
Yeah, he hinted at it. It came up about like a couple of days ago. They were saying like they said it came from his camp, but now these news reporters are starting to report it that he verbally said, "Yo, he's like boxing is trash." He just saying that he's tired of the sport of boxing and
Boxing is washed up
he's
right
going to
now. I
retire.
mean,
Huh?
I would say boxing is washed up. I don't know about the sport. The business of boxing is kind of washed up a little bit. Hopefully, what Turkey doing can brings it out a little bit. I feel like the free Netflix fights might have the Crawford Canelo going to tell you how
Canelo,
things going to go.
it's
Yeah,
big.
that's a
It's
Gonna tell
big
you a
big.
fight.
lot about how things gonna go, and it's
That's a
closer
big
than people
fight.
realize. What is it? It's next month. But
hmm
Yeah.
Gervonta, that's the Floyd Mayweather special to me. I think Shakur Stevenson said the same thing before. Boxers just get mad and start crying and say they're gonna retire. Like I don't know why. That's just it seems like a common pastime. I would bet
hmm
everything I have that Gervonta Davis will be fighting again for sure.
I just think that, and this is why I say like Floyd is to me like the greatest. I know they say Muhammad Ali, he's one of the greatest too. And because he didn't duck nobody. So when you look at the greatest, you fight everybody, win or lose. Obviously Floyd never lost, right?
Hmm.
So when you look at a boxer and their greatness, you look at like who they fought. Let's look. You gotta look for the notable names. Like
Yeah,
Floyd didn't duck nobody. His people that he defeated is Asher. He didn't beat everybody that you could think of that you thought was a great boxer. Floyd fought him and beat him. Just like Muhammad
facts.
Ali. He fought whoever you thought was the great boxer at the time. He caught some L's, but he fought him.
Hmm.
Gervonta just is not fighting the fights that we want to see. You
That's true.
know, they're not fighting the fight. We want to see Gervonta and Shakur Stevenson. That's what the whole
Okay.
world want to see.
Yeah,
You
for
know,
sure.
that's a big money fight. If that was Floyd like Let's make it happen. And then Floyd get the money and beat him. So we want to see that.
How
We not
old was
getting that
Floyd?
out
Or
of
well,
boxing.
Gervonta's 30 now, but Floyd was like, I mean, he fought Judah when he was what? Still,
20,
I was like 06, 29.
29,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that was the big one like that. And then he fought. How old was Corrales when Corrales was older when he fought him, wasn't he?
I think Crowder was older than Floyd when he
Yeah,
fought him.
but then he started fighting everybody really in the back half of his career,
Yeah.
which he still beat them all, and he
Still
was
beat
like,
him all.
yeah. So I feel like Gervonta, really Shakur more. To me, Shakur is the purest boxer out of them. But I mean, he
Yep.
still got a little bit of time to try to. That Roach fight took a little bit of steam off of him. If he can come back, have a huge performance, he got the chance to
Yeah.
still stack up some
Yeah.
names. But yeah, as of now, who's the biggest names on his resume? Probably Pitbull or
Nah, Ryan.
Ryan. Oh yeah, duh. What the hell am I talking about? Ryan, I'm tripping. Ryan
Yeah.
Garcia, obviously, and then yeah, he don't really got too many more. He fought an old Gamboa, fought who I don't even know who else he fought.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he
Mario.
He
don't
ain't got the
really.
names.
Oh, but
Who's
Leo Santa Cruz. I will say, after he
Cruz
knocked
is
him out,
tough.
I was gonna say yeah. After he knocked him out, he ain't getting no credit. But Leo Santa Cruz was a sick. What was he? 130, 135 pounder. He was sick
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah.
Like,
Him and what's his name? Pitbull.
yeah.
What's his name? I know Pitbull what?
Pitbull Cruz. I don't know what the hell his
Yeah.
first
I don't
name
know,
was. His real
but
first name.
he wanted a rematch with Gervonta. Gervonta was not going to give it to him because
Yeah.
he get a rematch with that boy. That his style is so unorthodox. Like I'm watching, I'm like, yeah, Gervonta. I don't think he want to fight this dude again because that
He's
boy is a
short
problem.
too.
Pitbull is a
Yeah.
problem. Pitbull, but I mean, you gotta in boxing. Us casual fans, we want to see the best of the best fight. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm shout out to Bud because like for Bud in his division, who was he to fight? He had to move up
Yeah.
to fight Canelo because there was nobody who
I
you
mean,
gonna
he ain't
fight.
have to,
Boots
but I guess go be
Boots ain't
great
got
then, my
enough
brother.
Boots ain't got enough boots on the ground to fight to fuck
Nah.
with Bud.
And
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
he'll get. I'm gonna be honest. Boots, I love watching Boots. He'll get fucked. He'll lose to Bud for sure. Right? It's a mentality thing, bro. You can see the difference with the Errol Spence fight because Errol Spence wasn't nothing to play with. Errol Spence was a dog. Like now, people talk about him like he just washed up,
Yeah.
which he is. He ain't fighting no more. It seemed like he should
Because
retire. If we want to talk about retirement.
Yeah.
Bud knocked
But
Yeah.
Bud took him out.
different. You know what it is to me, and I'm gonna say this. Like you said, I'll consider myself a high casual boxer, but this is what I'll say it was to me. That was the difference between real work and what looks good. You know what I mean? Like Errol Spence was like the modern day, damn near Instagram. Even though he was still a grinder, but he also will go party. He also will go. Bud Crawford I'm here to work.
A boxer.
Yeah.
A boxer, a
Yeah.
fighter, a boxer versus an athlete, damn near
Mhm.
like.
Yeah, that was made. Then he bought, and then you know what made it even more legendary? That he got Eminem to walk him out, and Eminem don't even come outside.
Come outside.
So when he had Eminem bring him out, I said, nah, hold on. We might be about to see something. But you know what I want to ask y'all? Because the same things that people saying about Tank, and I want to see how does it translate because, all right, for example, Roy Jones said he fought everybody, like who, he didn't duck nobody. But then you got people who knock Roy and say he didn't have a lot of the people
Big
on
name,
his
yeah.
resume. Like, so the same thing they knocking Tank for, even though Roy was amazing, and he's my favorite fighter of all time, Roy, despite, how after Tarver, my opinion, he should never came back down to fight Tarver. Should have stayed
Yeah.
at heavyweight or retired, not come back down. But
Didn't
that's
he beat
another thing.
Hopkins when he was like
But
24 or something like that?
he beat Hopkins early on. They both was young, and he beat Hopkins. Yeah,
Mm.
and he
He
beat
skinned
Tony.
Hopkins for real.
Yeah, like he has notable people, but I just noticed the same knock was on him. They talking about he fighting police officers and stuff. So, and bro, you was a big Roy Jones fan, so the same thing they knocking Tank for. Is that the same case for Roy Jones? What's good? Let me hear something.
I don't
Police
think it's the
officers is
same case for
crazy.
Roy Jones. Nah, I don't think so. Because remember, one of the notable fights was James Toney, and James Toney was knocking niggas out in his time. And he went in
Yeah.
and made James Toney look like a fool.